availability in Azure. Okay. So availability in Azure, it is nothing but, let's say when you wanted to deploy a VM, right? So you wanted to make sure how available, like what is the availability of that VM. For example, let's say I wanted to run that VM 24/7 without any downtime, etc., right? For example, let's say non-prod I don't care, like even if there is a downtime for some time, I don't mind, but production, it should be highly available, right? So when you deploy any VM in Azure, there are three things. One is availability, like you can deploy using availability set, then we can deploy using availability zone. And the third one is deploy without any of the above. Okay. So if you deploy a VM without availability zone and availability set, by default, you'll get a SLA of 99.5. So it means almost you can expect monthly some uh, some 36 hours downtime, I believe. Okay, so you can check in details. So, for example, you are deploying a very critical application. You cannot afford that much downtime, right? Then you have an option called availability set. Okay, what is availability set means? For example, let's say I'll go to the whiteboard. So let's say you have 5 VMs. Okay, so if you do not choose any availability zone or availability set, what will happen? For example, this is a Microsoft data center. Inside that, we'll have a racks, right? This is the rack. Inside that rack, we will have a server. Consider these are servers. Okay. So these 5 VMs might get deployed in the first server itself. Okay. So if something goes wrong on this particular server, okay, or in this particular rack, okay, so let's say some switch having issue or power having issue on this rack, all your 5 VMs will be gone, so your users will not be able to access anything, so it will have a complete outage. Okay, so always do not use this option. And the next option what you are having, which is availability set. Okay, availability set is nothing but, consider a Microsoft data center. So here Microsoft data center, they may have multiple racks, right? Each rack will have its own independent power, cooling, per network switch, etc. Okay, so inside this rack, again I'm telling, you have a servers. So when you deploy 5 VMs, this all comes in a same data center, okay, single data center, single DC. Okay, so when you deploy 5 VMs, the first VM may, when you choose availability zones, okay, the first VM may get deployed in this rack on this particular server. Second one, it may go here. Third one, it may go here. Fourth one here. Fifth one here. Right? So at any point of time, for example, let's say this server is having issue, only this VM is impacted, right? Other VMs, users able to access it. There is no issue. For example, let's say the entire rack goes down. Only these 2 VMs got impacted. You still have remaining 3 VMs for your users. So this is not a complete outage. Okay. So using availability set, you can get 99.95%. Okay. This is the uptime you'll get. So this means that you can get like 20 minutes of downtime monthly sometimes. Okay. This is the expected downtime if you go with availability set. However, 20 minutes of downtime for some application, critical application, it will not be, good to have downtime of 20 minutes for example, just imagine your mobile banking application is hosted in availability zone, sorry, availability set, and there is a 20 minutes of downtime, and you know what is the experience, right? You cannot do any transaction, or you cannot do anything unless and until it is up. So it may lead to financial impact, or it may lead to reputational risk also. Okay, reputational loss of the bank or any organization. So in that case, instead of going the availability zone, there is something called, okay, before going to that, as I told you, this it is hosted in a single data center, right? What if my complete data center goes down? I will not have any 5 VMs and I don't have any availability, right? So in order to overcome from the data center level outages, Microsoft having one more concept called availability zones. So availability zones is nothing but within a Microsoft region. For example, in UAE, there will be two regions, right? UAE North and UAE Central. So similarly in India, we have three regions, I believe. South in like one in Mumbai, and another one is Chennai, and another one is West Bengal, I believe. Okay. So within the region, Microsoft will have three data centers. Okay. It's called AZ1, AZ2, and AZ3. So if I'm deploying five VMs, first VM will get deployed here, second one will be here, third one will be here, fourth one will be here, fifth one will be here. So at any point of time, for example, my AZ, the entire data center is down. Still, I have three VMs. For example, let's say my AZ2 is down together. Still, I have two VMs to serve to the user. I don't have any problem. It is not a complete outage, isn't it? So using this way, you will achieve 99.99%. It means that you can expect only 4 minutes of downtime. Okay. So if you are deploying a critical workload, even it is a VDI also, always consider using availability zones instead of any other methods. Okay. This is the perfect way to achieve higher SLA, and also it will give you active setup. So you don't need to maintain any other DR also, because you have a data center level failure, right? So this it will give you your DR strategy for you. Okay, so always go with this. So yeah, that's related to availability zone and availability set, where it is mentioned Azure availability set protects from hardware failures within the data center. However, availability zones will protect resources from the entire data center failure. Okay, I hope it's clear.